Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out some tracks from an act named Jerry Guthrie, and these tracks are over on a Spotify. If we switch over to here, we're going to listen to three. We're going to be listening to The Long Night, Road Rash, and Free of You. Those three in that order. And we're going to start with The Long Night. We're going to hear each of these tracks from start to finish. We're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Let's do this. What do we got? Oh, I got some filthy sounding distorted guitars with some lovely acoustic drums in there. It's kind of like some classic metal life from the 80s or something like that. It's interesting. Oh, some nice unmuted riffs, rhythm riffs revolving around. Oh, and that bass line is walking, man. Nice eighth note groove on that bass. Oh, got a drum fill there as well. Cool. Oh, we're getting to that guitar solo right here for The Long Night. Dope. Okay, where are we going with this? Some nice pinch harmonics there. What I'm liking is that whilst we have all this room to like do all sorts of crazy wild soloing, we're sticking to the sort of main musical idea and trying to sort of keep a similar groove to the rest of the instruments. And I have a lot of appreciation and respect for that, you know, especially an instrumental performance like this. Yeah, there's a little bit of a flourish, but that's okay. Oh, nice harmony with those leads. Working really nicely with the bass guitar as well, filling out that low end and that overall harmony. Oh, we got a bit of dynamic range here. We've got some quieter kind of rhythm bits. Oh, a little bit of dissonance in that interval there, eh? Oh, okay. And going back to the root now. Cool. You know, like with the mastering, like the mixing and mastering, there's obviously been attempts to try and get everything quite loud, and each instrument has its own place in the stereo field. At the same time, I can appreciate the fact that we've tried to have some quieter parts just to keep the energy levels sort of like changing, so there's not all the same loudness, because I can tell some parts of this might be a bit compressed, and that's alright. There's not too much breathing or anything like that along the which is good. Very organic recording. I'm wondering how they got the tones on their rhythm guitar. Oh, those are double kicks. I like the tone of those double kicks actually. Like, I listen to a lot of music, and nowadays where they'll sample those kick drums, and they can often sound a little bit generic. So for Jerry to go for a more sort of organic kick sound is just fantastic. It's really nice. Well done. Well done. And we're returning to this musical theme here. Cool. Kind of like an A section, isn't it? Is this song kind of split into 3 main parts? Looks like sort of like a mildly progressive feel to it, actually. The drum fill work is fantastic. I'm liking those rolls and those flams and the variances and the loudnesses of the different hits, and how we're sort of sticking to the cymbals to kind of keep the groove going, but also occasionally we're going to those toms to kind of spice things up. It's really good stuff. Got a chord note groove to it, which is interesting considering how much activity there is rhythmically in this. Unison bends. Actually, really beautiful harmonies there. I really enjoy it. So, is it going up to like a 9th or something like that? There was a nice reverb tail on the end of that. There's a bit of sizzle going on. I'm wondering if that's to do with the overall mix itself. Maybe they had a tube. Like, I mean, I can say that, you know, sometimes when I push my Pro VLA to a little bit, I get a little bit of sizzle on that mix chain. So maybe that's what's causing a little bit of the distortion in some parts when everything's going hard. But I kind of adore that. I like that. I've enjoyed my time listening to The Long Night. I think there were some really cool musical ideas in here. The performances were fairly solid. I can tell they were like acoustically recorded, and I've got a lot of love and a lot of time for that. You know, like there might have been like the occasional part where like we were like a quarter, like half a 16th off or something like that, but like pretty much flawless for most of the part with the performance, and it was a very raw feeling kind of experience, very raw experience, and sounds like a hell of a night. Road Rash, let's go. Let's do this. It sounds like there's a little bit of phasing going on with the kit. But I think that could just be like it could be something like an effect or something like that, just to sort of like emphasize the notes that are being hit. I'm liking how we have the cooling response as well with the guitars and the drums. A repetition of that sort of melodic sequence. Yeah, it's cool. Jerry knows how to play these different riffs and sort of string them together in ways that are respectful to both the initial key sequence, but also playing around like the pentatonic and blues scales as well. It's good stuff. Some nice ghost notes on that percussion as well. Oh, 16th note on the cymbals. Oh, that's not an easy thing to do. Yeah, there's a lovely long reverb tail on these guitars or whatever is going on there, and I live for it. It kind of fills in the space without there needing to be any more notes played, and it's great. Road Rash. This is dope, man. Ooh, that was a pretty chord there. Kind of makes me wonder whether Jerry Guthrie is going to put some vocals on these tracks at some point. Like, don't get me wrong, they sound cool. The Long Night especially it filled in a lot of the spaces where there might have needed to have been like a vocal melody with those different guitar riffs. There's just, I'm assuming that it's just meant to sound very open, but there is an expanse here that I'm just wondering if that's going to be something done with vocals, like if Jerry does any sort of live gigs at any point in future. Although there's enough color in the overall harmony here. See, this is fine. There's development there, which is good. It's beautiful music, actually. It's really peaceful. And going back to that. Yeah. It's nice having the complexities of the different performances kind of contrast each other. There's some really serious stuff going on with the drums. And bum, 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 bam, bum. Like the pinch harmonic, like it sounds sick, don't get me wrong, but it kind of helps. It allows you to, if you had both tracks as technically complex, it'd be a bit too much, you know? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm nodding my head without meaning to. You typically know you're onto something good when this occurs. Okay, back to this theme. All right. We're holding these chords. See, the reason I say it sounds so open is just because you're holding these chords there like that with the drums doing that. It's where I would usually expect the singer to come in, you know, something like that. But like, it doesn't need it, and I think that's important. It's okay to not have vocals fill in a section. I guess I'm just used to reviewing music where like musicians are like sort of nervous about a listener not being constantly like being held by the hand through a song, you know, so they don't have a moment where there isn't vocals, like literally 2 seconds in, you know, they'll make sounds or something like that. It's nice to have a track which doesn't sort of patronize the listener. It's cool. And that's it, it's just finishing. I was kind of just zoning out and kind of vibing to it, eh? So I didn't really have a lot more to say. The theme that was instantiated at the start with the rhythm riff and the chord progressions and stuff like that and that melody was nice. It was a fairly neutral melody. It was meant to kind of simulate, I think, being out on the road and driving places and stuff like that as per the title. I think it did a good job of that. Great work, Jerry. That's awesome, Jerry Guthrie. We've got track number 3, which is Free of You, with the Jerry Guthrie featuring Shayna Strong. This will be the last track today, and hopefully it'll be good. Sweet, let's do. Oh, wow, look at this. Got lots of love for this one. Awesome. I really hope that Jerry experiences similar levels of success in future, but if this is the one where we have a vocalist, I can only assume that this is indicative of the fact that when Jerry works with someone who's also a skilled singer, really good things happen. I'm liking the fingerpick tone there in those guitars and how they're stereo panned. Well done. That sounds pretty so far. You know, not especially complex arpeggios, but at the same time they're effective because you don't know what's gonna come next.
Tears that fall remind me of your lying. I cry these tears that fall, they make me feel like dying. No way to keep me from the pain that you've inflicted. Can't stop, can't get on top, can't break the style you've got me in.
I like the vocal production. I'm used to there being like reverb on a vocalist in a mix. And to hear the vocalist kind of very raw in it, again, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just something I'm not quite used to.
So long I believe you were my existence, blinding me with temptation and persistence.
There's also an interesting thing happening in the stereo field where I'm not quite sure if she's in the center of the stereo field or if Shayna is like slightly off to the left. Oh no, she is. I'm just kind of tripping a little bit. It took me a moment.
True, making me believe the way to live was to have more of you, but now I'm free of you, free of all that want and desire, free of you, free of all the pain you conspire.
Okay, I like it. I like what we're trying to do here. I think that musically it's really cool. I'm surprised that we didn't pan the guitars to the right and left like we did with the intro with the fingerpick stuff, because, you know, a vocalist and a guitar are in a similar frequency spectrum. Even no matter whether you're dealing with like a lady singer or a man singer, despite the octave differences that are present there, guitars can often sort of cover a lot of those ranges. So it can be, I'm just surprised that we have the guitar in the center.
Free of the chains that bound me, no way that you can tap me now, no way to confound me, 'cause I'm free of you.
See, that's dope. That was some really cool reverb and delay there. Clearly we know how to make the vocals really stand out. I'm glad that we had that in this part. And we have a guitar solo now, okay. I mean, I commend the fact that we're using different tones for like, I'm happy that we're using different vocal tones for like the rhythm and lead parts. Cool tapping solos, some great sort of neoclassical arpeggiated solos. Free of you, free of all the pain you conspire. So is a song about sort of being in a relationship where maybe things didn't turn out the way you wanted them to, and you just need to sort of escape from that person to kind of to have a better life. Is that it? I'm liking the double take of the vocals at the start of it. I'm liking how there's a breathiness to it. It's cool. She's got Shayna's got a really interesting voice, and she's hitting the notes well.
Free of you, free of the chains that bound me. No way that you can tempt me now, no way to concern me, 'cause I'm free of you.
And there's some nice vocal vibrato there. It's yeah, it's fast. It's a fascinating song actually. There's a nice bit of vocal sizzle, vocal fry that comes in occasionally.
No way that you can tempt me now, no way to concern me, 'cause I'm free of you.
And I mean, that was the song. That was Free of You by Jerry Guthrie and Shayna Strong. Yeah, I think the only way we could have potentially improved that is just, and here is the thing. Occasionally what can happen is, and I'm not saying this is the case with this recording, when I started out doing guitar recordings, what I would do is I'd record one side, and then I'd copy and paste the guitar track to the other side. And that's not the thing to do when you're recording guitars. The reason you don't do that is because if you just copy and paste this exact same sort of recording onto the opposite side. And if you use the exact same guitar effects or whatever, or the same, what's going to happen is that they're going to phase. And what's going to happen is the stereo image is just going to go into the center, and it's going to sort of sound a bit kind of funky. And I'm not, it's just weird to me that it was just so, everything was so panned in the stereo field with the clean guitars, and then that guitar came into the center. It's interesting. It's like I can tell that we were supposed to I can tell that we know how to double track, but again, that just could be a stylistic decision. Aside from like the guitar panning in the chorus, I think this was done pretty well. I understand that this is like an earlier production and stuff like that. I do think that Shayna chose some really strong melodies to work with there, and she expressed herself and emoted herself well throughout her vocal performance. And she was present enough in the mix, even without the reverb and such in the in that effects chain in the verse. It was an interesting song. I would say personally my favorite out of the three would probably be The Long Night. Road Rush is pretty dope, and I think I liked what Freeview was trying to do. But yeah, that's effectively my review of Jerry Guthrie's favorite various tracks. If you enjoyed it, and which hopefully you did enjoy this music, if you did, please do go and check out Jerry Guthrie's various social medias and Spotify. Stay cool and stay safe, and please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you in the next review. Spider hands up.